Well, Pakistan has managed to embarrass itself at the world stage by using a fake photograph in an effort to take a dig at India at the UN General Assembly. Pakistan's permanent representative to the UN, Maliha Lodhi, showed a picture of a seriously injured woman to point at Indian democracy, except this photograph is not from India.
This so-called democracy is the world's largest hypocrisy. This, Mr. President, is the face of India's democracy.
Well, that picture that she is chosen to represent India at the United Nations is actually of a 17-year-old girl named Rabia Abu Joma, who was injured when 2 Israeli airstrikes hit her apartment in Gaza during 2014's war. All right, let's go across live to WION's Islamabad Bureau Chief, Taha Siddiqui. He's live with us right now. Taha, this, of course, no denying the fact that this comes as a huge embarrassment for Pakistan at the United Nations, where representatives from various countries of the world were present. What sort of a reaction is this getting in Pakistan, in the media over there? All right, we'll try and reconnect with Taha Siddiqui in just a bit, but it seems in a haste to rip apart India at the UN General Assembly, Pakistan's permanent representative Maliha Lodhi, on your screens over there, she resorted to displaying this very picture, saying this is taken in India. She said this is the face of Indian democracy. Well, the catch here is that it actually isn't. The picture that she's chosen to display at the UN is that of a 17-year-old girl named Rabia Abu Joma, who was seriously injured when 2 Israeli airstrikes hit a family's apartment in Gaza. This, actually, the picture is from 2014. I believe our bureau chief from Islamabad is live with us now. Taha, this, of course, comes as a huge embarrassment for Pakistan. How is this news being reported or taken back in Pakistan at this point?
Well, basically, I mean, definitely it is a sort of a goof on her part, and in that sense, that aspect is being reported in Pakistan. But the mainstream channels are also talking about, you know, another aspect related to this, and they're saying that even though she did pick up the photo that she picked up was from Gaza and not from Kashmir, despite that, there are widely images widely available of that, pellet guns used, and that basically was the impression that she was trying to give in that speech of hers, that this is what is happening in Kashmir. And there are a number of those visuals available, and so the Pakistani media is sort of saying that, okay, she did use the wrong picture, but there are other ample pictures, so one should also remember that the issue still persists.
Right, but Taha, this does send out a very wrong message as far as Pakistan's position at the international stage is concerned. As far as, relations with India, this is a picture not from Kashmir. We've had these instances before after the surgical strike when Pakistan came out with, quote-unquote, a fake video in which there were clearly video editing marks. At that time also it created a lot of controversy. So clearly this isn't the first time that Pakistan is under fire producing wrong or, things that are created in Pakistan to project that this is, what's happening in India.
Well, I mean, definitely in the past that there have been questions about, the authenticity of, for example, that video that you mentioned. But here, the debate in Pakistan is very much different. And even one of the channels that I was watching, one of the top channels in the country, they were running the headlines and pointing towards Indian media and saying that the Indian media should remember that it's not a matter of one photo which was wrongly used, and it could have been a mistake, and the intention was not to sort of find some propaganda image and use that, but the intention was to show the world what is happening in Kashmir, and there are a number of photos that are available that show that. So somewhere, her staff who had provided her with that photo, did a mistake. So that is what the highlight or sort of what the difference of reporting that we're seeing in Islamabad or in Pakistan, that people are, the media here is saying that we should focus on the issue. Nevertheless, that she did show a picture that might have been, basically her staff might have mistaken it for Kashmir, but there are other pictures like that from Kashmir.
Right, Taha, I'd request you to please stay on with me because this is important, as this blunder on Pakistan's part, it comes just a day after India's External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj took a sharp jibe at Pakistan, calling it out for its terror factory at her UN General Assembly address yesterday. Let's try and listen into what she said yesterday.
हमने IITs बनाए, इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी, हमने IIMs बनाए, इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ मैनेजमेंट, हमने एम्स जैसे अस्पताल बनाए, ऑल इंडिया इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ मेडिकल साइंसेज, हमने अंतरिक्ष के क्षेत्र में विश्व प्रसिद्ध संस्थान बनाए। पर पाकिस्तान वालों, आपने क्या बनाया? आपने लश्कर तैयबा बनाया, आपने जैश मोहम्मद बनाया, आपने हक्कानी नेटवर्क बनाया, आपने हिजबुल मुजाहिदीन बनाया, आपने आतंकवादी ठिकाने बनाए, आपने टेररिस्ट कैंप्स बनाए।
Well, in the past too, United Nations has been at the center of face-off between Islamabad and New Delhi. Just recently, Pakistan's Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi, he tried defending allegations of terror but was confronted by his nemesis in Inam Gambhir, India's official at the United Nations.
We are today fighting an active war against terror with our own resources.
It is extraordinary that the state which protected Osama bin Laden and sheltered Mullah Omar should have the gumption to play the victim.
Well, going back to my colleague Taha, is there a belief in Pakistan that the UN General Assembly session, the meetings in New York weren't as fruitful as Pakistan would have liked them to be, given the condemnation from the West, from India, every country as far as, terror is concerned?
Well, basically, the speeches or the meetings that the Prime Minister did at the UNGA, or the meetings that they did on the sidelines, from the reporting that we did receive in the information coming out of the United States, from the understanding here in Islamabad is that most of it was a domestic audience. So even the speech at the UNGA talking about the way about the Kashmir issue or all of that is basically what the domestic constituency in Pakistan sort of plays out to, and it's not something for in that sense the global audience or the global community is not the impression in Islamabad is that the global community has moved on from these issues of India Pakistan and they do not really focus on that. That said, one of the things that Pakistan actually did make a breakthrough in was the meeting with the United States President Trump, and then also meeting with the Vice President, which the Pakistani Prime Minister had a long meeting with them. And then there was a statement that came out of the White House in which it was stated that the meeting was actually fruitful and there were a lot of things that were discussed. And if you've seen that after the whole, Trump's speech and the Trump, policy on Pakistan, Afghanistan, not much has come afterwards as to what that policy will be, or whether there'll be sanctions, or whether there'll be any measures against Pakistan. So right now, more or less, there's status quo, and Pakistan sort of this time around, when it was in the at the UNGA and in the United States, the Pakistani policymakers there managed to sort of get discussions going about Pakistan's role in the region.
And stay away from faux pas. Thanks so much, Taha Siddiqui, for joining us with those inputs from Islamabad there.